I really wanted to do a little bit looking at that first and second half, because I was listening to Talk Sport, the radio. They're saying, Arsenal scintillating the second half. Some people calling it a game of two halves. Some people saying, Arteta must have really got stuck into the team. And it's not that I don't think our level went up in the second half. I do. But I don't think the first half was as bad as people were saying. Now, I guess the best way to show it is, first of all, let's have a little look at what I think we were doing a lot in the first half. Now, we got the 3-2-5 and Tierney trying to replicate that Zinchenko role, that, forming, part of the base of Partey, you play through them. But what we're also seeing a lot of, and I want to ask the question to the audience and to you why this might have been, what I also felt we were seeing a lot of, if I just step in here, we're seeing Tierney also hold width, Xhaka come a bit closer to Partey, and Martinelli come very central if he wants to move. There he does. There we go. Now, we saw this shape a lot as well. Now, I think, first of all, why? I think because Tierney's a very good, kind of overlapper, crosser of the football, can beat his fullback, very old school in that sense, and I think that was something that Arteta wanted to see a lot of. I think Martinelli, we know that there's potential future for him as a number 9. He's very good with his back to goal, so picking up the ball in these half spaces he's capable of doing. And Xhaka has plenty of times covered in central midfield, dropping into left, more defensive positions and all that. So those aren't strange positions to see those players in, but they're alternating a lot. We were seeing Tierney wide, Xhaka drop deep, Martinelli come central, popping out wide, interchanging with Nketiah. Now let me say the good. The good is that's brilliant. We're keeping the opposition constantly thinking. And I highlighted in one of the In Focus videos we did that actually Zinchenko, as much as he comes forward, in that second goal at Wolves, he overlaps and that creates a second goal. So you want constant interchanging fluidity. You want Bowen and Kufal to go, well, hold on, Martinelli was there, but now he's coming inside. I don't know what we're doing. Xhaka, well, he's a box-to-box runner, then he's a deep-line playmaker. What's going on? And that is fantastic. However, I did feel that one thing we'd lost was this fear factor we get when, if we move Xhaka forward, Martinelli is running at the fullback. That's sort of like, the ball goes wide and he pins them down and it's like, oh no, he is running at me. And I think we lost that little bit of fear factor and that little bit of when Saka and Martinelli are closing in on the fullbacks and they're narrowing the pitch and the fullbacks are just dropping and dropping and dropping and they cause havoc. And I think we see that in the second goal, which I'm going to show it here, Martinelli goal. Now, if we just play this through once, what we've got here is a much more of the front five, the way we've been used to seeing it this season, of course, in Nketiah for Jesus. But rather than Xhaka being deeper, Tierney holding the width here and Martinelli coming central, it was much more what we've been used to seeing this season. And when the ball comes to Odegaard, it's a lovely touch from Xhaka, opens it up, and then Martinelli, touch onto his left, hits it immediately. We were, not only did we create that sort of one-on-one with Martinelli and Kufal, which I loved, but we suddenly had that fear factor about us. And in that first half, I think we lacked that a little bit, but we also lacked decisiveness. I felt we lacked that making a quick decision immediately. There were passes that were just going astray. There was a little bit of poor decision making in the final third. We looked a little bit like we were maybe overplaying it at times, and Arsenal just did things a little bit quicker when they entered the penalty area. And I think these graphics, or this graphic, and these numbers tell you the story, because suddenly you've got pass completion went up from 88% in the first half to 91% in the second half for Arsenal. Take on completion went up from 20% to 40%. Our pass completion into the penalty area went up from 45 to 71%. Our attacking third passes went from 79% to 78%, so a little drop of 1%, but not a lot in it there. Chances created from 6 to 7, and big chances from 0 to 2. But the big one is, I think, the pass completion and the take on completion. And that Martinelli touch in the goal, I think, just tells you how much quicker the decision making was when it came to from Xhaka to Martinelli. It's touch onto his left, shoot. I don't think he really. I'm the odd one out. I don't think he meant. I think he just thought, let me just hit this and see if it goes into that corridor of uncertainty, the word you like to use, and it went towards goal. But the fact we did it so quickly kept West Ham off guard and meant we got the second goal, and ultimately they couldn't live with us in the second half.
And I think sometimes what it needs actually is just that. This is only the third time I knew we'd be behind in a Premier League game this season.
Yeah.
Sometimes it needs Mikel Arteta at half-time just to re-emphasise what this team is good at and what we need to do better.
Yeah.
Because I thought they were playing really well in the first half, but just as you said, probably not playing quick enough and probably slightly down on the numbers that we're used to, that they sort of like picked up on in the second half. I thought first half we were building up more James and a diamond at times. You know, Party at the base. I think Eddie was dropping into almost like the top of a diamond with Odegaard and Xhaka either side, and then like Martinelli and Saka were like the two forwards making runs, right, trying to make runs in behind. But I thought a few times Eddie had the ball, and I thought he might have been able to sort of like, if Gabriel Jesus had been in that position, he would have sort of like been able to turn and run with the ball, and maybe sort of like brought players out of position to play players in. A couple of times Eddie sort of like in that first half maybe a little bit indecisive. I thought his performance, I have to say, and we're going to talk about how good he was in this video, I thought he was excellent last night. I'm not criticising him anyway. I'm so pleased he scored his goal as well. In that first half, a couple of times he was a little bit indecisive, and also when he had chances to turn, he didn't take them because he was dropping into that hole that Jesus drops into. But I think that'll come, and I think his performance last night was pretty good. But I agree with you. I think it just needed Arteta just to reset the team at half time, re-emphasise what we're good at, and that was shown in the higher numbers, passes into the penalty area, attacking, and in take-on completions where we improved in that second half.